I am a control freak. It feels really good to say that out loud. Therefore, motherhood has always been a struggle for me. I lie awake at night mentally preparing for the next day, scheduling and planning and strategizing, and without fail, something always goes wrong. Papers are forgotten, shoes and keys are misplaced, and someone always has to poop at the worst possible time. Yet, day after day, I continue to try to control the chaos. It's like I just can't learn how to let go. But as we all know, life has a funny way of teaching us lessons that we really do not want to learn. It was the day before school was scheduled to start back after winter break, and the kids and I were having the best day we'd had in weeks. I'm fairly certain it was because I was giddy with excitement to send them back to school, and they were equally as giddy at the thought of returning. Either way, we were having fun. I was standing in the middle of the living room minding my own business when one of my children jumped onto my back, throwing his arms around my neck. I fell backwards, hitting my head on a piece of furniture. The emergency room doctor diagnosed me with a concussion, a traumatic brain injury that altered the way my brain functions, because that is the kind of thing that happens when you grow up and decide to become a mom. I don't remember much of the weeks that followed, except that I kept trying to do laundry, and my husband kept telling me he would take care of it, but he didn't display the same sense of urgency that I have. So the cycle continued. I kept trying to do it, and he kept trying to stop me. He insisted that he would feed the children breakfast and ordered me to stay in bed. I laid there obsessing over what he might be feeding them. Did he rip open a box of Cheez-Its and let them go to town? Or worse, Oreos? Were they getting enough fiber? Were they hydrated? Would he remember to pack their lunches? I tiptoed down the hall to listen, and every single time I was caught and put back to bed. This was hard. I was put on brain rest. Do you know how impossible it is for a mother of 3 to rest her brain? I pushed earplugs into my ears and stared at the white walls in the dark for many more hours than I was comfortable with, and realized as the minutes ticked by just how much of a control freak I really am. People kept telling me not to do things. Don't look at screens, they said. Don't read. Don't think too much. Don't drive. Don't write. Basically, sit in a dark room by yourself and stare at the window until you feel like jumping out of it. I got tired of being told to relax. Sitting on the beach with champagne is relaxing. Massages are relaxing. Going to Target alone is relaxing. Recovering from a concussion is not. At my follow-up visit, my doctor said, "You seem a little on edge." Well, maybe I'm on edge because every time I let my guard down, a child jumps on my back and concusses me. Maybe that's why. There are 5 stages of grief when a mother is sidelined due to injury or illness. Stage 1 is denial. I was in that stage for a solid 2 weeks, trying and failing to continue mothering as if nothing was out of the ordinary, all the while doing things like squirting ketchup into my toddler's sippy cup, because ketchup and juice are totally the same thing. We acquired a pet during this stage. My family tells me a stray cat showed up one day, and I am the one who suggested we buy cat food to properly feed her, but I have no recollection of this. Stage 2 is anger. This was when I realized I was not going to be able to power through a head injury like I did with a common cold. Moms don't take sick days, and I did not have time for this. I was pissed. I put a mug of water in the kitchen cabinet and waited for it to heat up so I could make some tea. I drummed my fingers on the counter, waiting. I waited and waited for the timer to ding, and when it didn't, and I realized what I'd done, I was angry. When I forgot our yard man's name, I was angry. When I went into the house to write him a check, and I couldn't find the checkbook that was in my purse, I got angry. And then I forgot what I was supposed to be doing, and I never went back outside to pay him. Stage 3 is bargaining. If only we hadn't had all of these children. If only I hadn't turned my back to my child that day. If only my husband hadn't taught them how to wrestle. Someone should have stressed that we never try to wrestle mommy. I should have never let my guard down, but now it was too late, and I still could not recall our street address, and I was positive that I was going to have the dumb until the day I died. Stage 4 is depression. I own that stage. I really rocked depression. At one point, my hair smelled like old socks, and I didn't even care. During this stage, I actually enjoyed staring at the ceiling and walls. My family members who fancy themselves comedians tried to help me see the bright side of things. "You've been different ever since the accident," they said. "You keep insisting that we call you Harmony." They called me Tina for a full week. Stage 5, the final stage, is acceptance. I accepted that my memory may never quite be the same. I accepted that we have a cat now, and her name is Magnolia, and every time I load our kids into the minivan, I have to keep her from jumping in. I accepted that this is the new, quirkier me. I accepted that I will always be a control freak, and life will always find a way to put me in my place because I chose to become a mother, and motherhood is really hard on control freaks.